Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, today, my plan is I'm gonna show you guys this, video I've got going on here, and, it's basically just a bunch of pictures from, my trip to Durango, as y'all have probably already seen. I have, taken a trip to Durango. I went to Chama and rode the Cumbres and Toltec as well. But in Durango, I did a couple things. I took a yard tour around the yard, which is always fun. And I also took a buttload of pictures in the Roundhouse Museum. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys that. Let's get right into it, because this is already like a minute-long intro. Alright. So the first picture we have here is it's the ice house, and the next one is the, what's it called? I don't know. The next one is a diesel that was traded with the Georgetown Loop. These are wheels. Some of them are standard gauge, some of them are narrow gauge. They'll be reworked and stuff. This is actually a auxiliary water tender. This is a look at the machine shop here. This is another angle on the other side of the machine shop. That right there is where they drive up the little front loader thing with the coal, that is the front loader, and it's also sitting in the wood chip pile. That's how they keep the locomotives hot and running during the night. That there is a pretty bad angle on a flanger. This is the ash pit, where they take all the ash out of the firebox. This is kind of a dark picture of the turntable, with the roundhouse in the background. There's a shot of 493, which is pretty much just sitting there. Here's a nice good shot. It's a little bit dark, but of the roundhouse itself. Here's a real good shot of 473 and 476. I will talk about 476 whenever we get to the end of this. Here's another picture of 493. This is a drop bottom gondola that they were restoring to use for ballasting. This is a pair of the trucks from that gondola. They were putting roller bearings on it. That was a paint booth. This right here is a picture of some dark rolling stock. Those are the box cars in the back. This right here is a picture of the kind of scrap yard area where, you know, the spare parts yard. That, I believe, is 498. And it's basically just a spare part locomotive. It was a K36, or not K36, K37, and it's spare part locomotive. There's 473 right there, and there's another part of the roundhouse. This is in the roundhouse now. That is 476, and I will talk about 476 at the end of the video, but it's super awesome news. You can see right through, that's the firebox you're looking at, you can see right through the boiler. There's 486, which was just taking a break that day. There's another angle on 476. Those are actually 476's drivers, as it turns out. Here's the difference between some drivers that have been like shined up and machined and everything and not. So this here is locomotive number 42. It's a C17 class, Rio Grande Southern, and it doesn't run anymore. This is just in the Roundhouse Museum. So I got a couple of pictures of it here. This is a picture of 478, which is a K28. It's not usually in here, which I will finish talking about that later. This is actually 470, or not 470, 24's, still back to pictures of 24. That was its cab and stuff. Now this is 478. It's not usually in here. They're restoring 476 to operational conditions, which is a huge deal. So 478 is currently in there. There's the cab of 478. And that's actually what a tender looks like when there's no coal in it. Pretty interesting. And this is actually a look down the side of, like, an engineer's view of 478. This is a long caboose, 0505. Oh, that's not the right, interesting. There's another angle on 493. That right there is a smokestack, for, a K30, or K28. In this case, 473, you can see it on the locomotive there. These next couple pictures are of the caboose 0500. which they have restored the inside of and everything, and you can go in there and stuff. Here's a little bit of stuff right here. You want to pause the video and read that, feel free to do so. That's a stove, I believe, in the caboose. Those, I believe, are actually beds, sort of. They don't look comfortable, though, at all. This is a small caboose, so that looks like some sort of like desk area or something. I don't really know. I'm not a caboose man. And that's the top of it. That's a view of the top, and this is a view of the whole top. So, the next set of pictures are some war-related stuff in the Roundhouse Museum. This isn't war-related though. There's a bunch of stuff in there, but these are some rockets, Saturn V, and a couple of other ones in the space shuttle. And that is a F-4 Phantom, I think. And this serves in Vietnam. That is a rocket launcher. Now that is cool. It's a rocket launcher. That is an actual M16 right there. It's an M16 assault rifle, and that's pretty cool. And then you just got some tanks, and some pictures of some planes and stuff. And there you go, a bunch of planes. I mean, I'm into that kind of thing, but not whenever I'm in railroad mode. That right there is a picture of. Now we're into some battleships. That was this Hornet. This is the Missouri. This is the Enterprise. I don't know what that is, but it's from like the Civil War era. That I believe is a model of the USS Constitution, but I don't know. Here are some pictures. Now we're getting into the model stuff. This is some pictures of a thing of like the Durango station, and I don't know what scale this is, but it's large scale, I suppose. 478 and a couple of things sitting there. These are amazing, interior detailed. All of the red cars on the line, as well as the Night Sky and the Silver Vista. Completely interior decorated and everything. They are amazing. I don't remember, I don't think that you can actually read the name of who made these, but props to whoever made these, because, dude, they are amazing. Just look at the detail on that. They're all hand-built, all custom-built. This is just a scene, and from this angle it kind of looks like a picture, but that's actually a model scene. There is a galloping goose, which, you will, just throwing some hints out there. You might see one of those on my model videos. That right there is actually a K-36, and I think it might be brass, not 36, 37. These, I believe, were custom built, because if you look at them, they're way too big to be narrow gauge. So I think they were actually custom built for, because they're HO, but I think they were custom built. That right there is a picture of a Shay, something that you don't often see. I'm looking to get me a Shay myself. That's a drive-in theater, right there. That is actually a super cool thing. It's like a mine shaft, it's really cool. And that right there, I will talk about at the end of the video. Here's a nice shot of a bridge. Hopefully it inspires one of you who's building a layout. And there's, I guess, just some houses. I don't know why I have a picture of just some houses. This is a little scene right here of some station, but it's got, I guess, number 347 sitting there. And that is actually it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up a little bit. I'm going to explain a couple of things. First of all, I said I would explain 476 and why 478 is in the Roundhouse Museum currently. They pulled 476 out of the Roundhouse Museum to actually, they want to restore it to operational condition. And as far as I am aware, they have not done such an extensive overhaul as they're doing to this thing since 482, which, as some of you guys might know, 482 was completely rebuilt after it was traded with the Cumbres and Toltec for, they got 495, I think, and the Durango got 482, and 482 was completely rebuilt, completely. But they're doing the same thing to 476, excuse me. I'm not used to saying the number 476 because it's not been running since I've been alive. But they're completely restoring it to operational condition, which means finally all 3 remaining K-28s will finally be running again. All 3 remaining in the world will be running again. 473, 476, and 478. Now, 478 is in the Roundhouse Museum right now, I think, just kind of as a space filler. I think they want to put 493, kind of do a cosmetic restoration on 493, and throw 493 into the Roundhouse Museum in place of 476. But they pretty much just put 478 there as a space filler, and because they didn't have room elsewhere. So, but I think that's their plan, and but it's so awesome. Now, that one picture that you saw, I might pop it back up on screen right now. That one picture that you saw of it was a locomotive on the layout that they have in the Roundhouse, and well, I couldn't get a clear picture of it. I took several angles, but I couldn't get a clear picture of it because my hands aren't the steadiest. So that is a K-28. I believe it's number 470, but it might be 473. But I think it's number 470. I'm not sure. But that means it is either, and it is narrow gauge, so that means that it is either brass, but it doesn't look like brass, at least from, maybe it's just from a distance, but it just doesn't look like brass, because I compared my brass K-28 from about the same distance, roughly, and it looked very different. It just looked so much shinier. So I'm thinking what that might be very well could be potentially Blackstone's new K-28. That might be a prototype for it that was given to the Durango Museum because, well, I mean, I'm relatively certain that all the crap that they've got there, especially the narrow gauge stuff, especially from Blackstone, is probably free. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But that would make some sense. But the point is, what that means, we might be very close to seeing the Blackstone K-28 come out soon. Or we might still be quite a ways from that as well, because we have more info from Blackstone on their K-36 than on their K-28s. Right now, we actually have a concept art picture of the K-36 from Blackstone. We don't have that for a K-28, but there is a K-28 sitting in the Roundhouse Museum's layout right now. So, and it doesn't look like brass, at least not to me. Maybe one of you can identify if it's brass or not. I think it is not brass. I think it might be Blackstone. Potentially some sort of like prototype or something. Because it just doesn't look shiny enough to be brass. Brass locomotives that have been painted generally look kind of shiny. They look different than other ones. The brass locomotives that I have seen so far of K-28s, which I'm currently holding 478 right now, my 478, and I'm just comparing it, it just looks so much less like that. The details, there are details that aren't there, there are details that are there, that aren't on the brass one that I have. So I want to say that might be a brass, a Blackstone prototype for the new K-28s. I think, maybe, possibly, but I don't know that for a fact because this layout also possesses a, I think it's actually 497. That locomotive that was on the turntable that you saw with like the cotton ball coming out of his smokestack to simulate smoke. That I believe is a brass locomotive because it's either that or it's a just something someone in Blackstone was like, hey, let's just kind of build this as an off project. But anyway, that's gonna be it. If you liked this, check out the rest of my channel. I do a bunch of other cool stuff. And I really hope that this is news on the new Blackstone K28. That is one. Because I don't know. I honestly don't know. But maybe it is, maybe it's not. We can only hope. But the best news that we've got so far as K28s go, is that 463, or not 463, 473. No, not 473. It's 476. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's too many numbers in my head. There are too many road numbers in my head right now. But 476 is finally getting restored, which is that's so much good news. Oh, I just remembered why 478 was in the roundhouse. It's actually time for 478's annual maintenance. The big annual maintenance that they have to do. It's actually time for 478's big annual maintenance. So that's what they just put it in there, kind of because they didn't have a better place for it at the moment until they get a space ready for its annual maintenance. But if I remember correctly. But anyway, that's gonna be it, and we will see you guys next time. After this, there should be one more video coming out tomorrow that I know of. After that, it'll probably go back to once a week, maybe twice a week videos. But anyway, I need to stop rambling. So I'm going to see you guys next time. Bye.